Hey everybody, this is D Hunter, bringing another action figure review. Today, we're going to be looking at the McFarlane DC Multiverse Batman from the Batman Last Night on Earth storyline. He's part of the collective build Bane wave. So let's check out the packaging here. As you can see at the top, 22 moving parts, McFarlane toys, got the Spawn logo there. DC Multiverse Batman, collective build Bane. This is the third of 4 figures you have to get to build Bane. Here he is in the package, got Bane's hands, Bane's head, a nightstick, and then Joker's head. One side of the package, Batman from the Last Night on Earth. Other side simply says Batman. At the bottom, there's a bunch of credits and a barcode in case that helps anybody. On the back side, here he is from the comic. Here are instructions on how to build Bane. And here is the rest of the wave. So I got my figure from Target. They had 10 different figures from the wave on the shelf. They retail at $24.99, but Target.com has them for $19.99 for pre-order. So I took these up to customer service, and I had the price match their own website. Got this guy for 19 bucks. Pretty fair price if you ask me. So with no further ado, let's open him up. And I mentioned this figure is from the Batman Last Night on Earth storyline. Here's my entire collection of the Last Night on Earth comics. We've got both covers A and B of all 3 books. Alright, now that we got this figure out of the package, here he is with all of his accessories laid out. He does come with a display stand, a collector's card, a baton, and Joker's head in a little lantern or jar. But before we check out these accessories, let's talk about and look at the actual figure. So this Bruce Wayne, or Batman, I believe, is a clone of the original Bruce Wayne Batman, who in this what-if story, The Last Night on Earth, became a totalitarian dictator of Gotham City named Omega. Alfred cloned the original Bruce Wayne so he could oppose Omega. I believe he woke up a little bit early, ended up in Arkham Asylum, and made sort of a makeshift Batman outfit out of his straitjacket. So let's check it out. His head looks pretty good. He's got the big collar on the straitjacket. Some sculpting along the side here. Looks like they're made from makeshift little straps. Very cool little details there. Going further down, he's got the W, presumably for Wayne on here. The texture on the jacket is very nice. Very cool. Going further down, sort of fins on his forearms. Made of straps. It's all sort of homemade, makeshift. It's got his utility belt pouches. Looks like he's going to be able to holster his baton here. Double jointed knees, double jointed elbows. The long leather straps on the back, sort of representing his cape. Very cool, very clever, and very unique. Now let's look at his accessories, and let's start with the boring stuff. Here's his display stand, typical McFarlane stand, black perfect circle, says DC at the bottom. He's got one peg for the peg holes on his feet, very thin, very basic. Now let's look at his collector's card. This is a replica of a panel near the end of the Last Night on Earth, Book 1. Here's that panel in that book. Now let's look at his baton. Solid black. You can see the back part of the top, a little bit of damage on it, and the bottom has some grip marks. Here he is, holding onto his baton. And here it is, holstered onto his belt. Now let's check out his Joker head. Joker's severed head in this lantern or jar. Bruce Wayne woke up in the desert. That thing was with him, talking to him the whole time. I believe it got a robot body and sort of became a Robin later in the series. A little handle at the top. The Joker head looks great inside. Sort of has a foggy look to it. The back is completely orange. Now I've seen a lot of people ask, can they put this head onto, I don't know, the Rebirth Joker body that McFarlane made? And I'm not certain. I don't see any way to actually get this thing separated without breaking it. And I really don't want to mess this up. It's a very nice looking piece. That head looks great. Overall, it's a very cool, sick, twisted little accessory. Here he is, holding this lantern. And later in the story, after he gets out of the asylum, he puts on his Rebirth suit and is carrying this lantern around still. And this accessory totally reminds me of the severed head accessory that came with the Mattel WWE Elite Fiend. Now that we've taken a pretty good look at both the figure and his accessories, now let's check out his height. From bottom to top, sitting at about 6.9 inches tall, which is going to translate to about 17.5 centimeters. Now let's check out his articulation. Starting with his head here, of course, it can rotate from side to side. You can look up and down about that far. Can tilt, giving him a nice amount of personality. Shoulders on ball joints, they can go out this far, up, down, around, all that good stuff. There's a butterfly joint between the shoulder and chest, increasing the range of motion in his shoulder. Bicep cut below that. Double jointed elbows below that. His wrist has a ball on it. It can rotate, and it's going to be hinged as well. He's got the straightjacket on, which is a soft material. Not really any articulation inside of there. He has a ball joint here at his waist. Can rotate around, go forward and back. You can see underneath there. Legs go out about that far. It's not a ball joint, but a similar type concept. There is no real thigh rotation. You can go forward about that far, back about that far. Double jointed knees below that. And his ankles here, they can go up and down. They can rotate. They can tilt and rock. And there's toe articulation. Here he is, fighting a bunch of other inmates, and here he is taking on a bunch of police in the asylum as he's trying to escape. Just like in the comic, they tell him, "Mr. Wayne, there's 10 of us and 1 of you. Bad odds for you," he says. And now to check him out, next to some other action figures, starting off with some other McFarlane DC Multiverse figures. Here he is with the rest of this wave of figures. Here he is next to all the different good Bruce Wayne as Batman figures McFarlane has made so far. And here's the entire McFarlane DC Multiverse collection. So far, I've got a total of 59 different figures if you count all the variants and 2 vehicles, and I am fully caught up at this moment. Now let's check him out next to some other prisoner or inmate type figures. Here he is with some McFarlane Color Tufts Walking Dead Daryl Dixon figures. I bought 6 of them head swapped. They had the A on it, almost for Arkham Asylum. And here he is, next to a bunch of psychos from Borderlands. Some are from McFarlane, some are from NECA, and a couple are some PVC statues. Then, next to a couple of repainted wrestling figures. And here he is with a few wrestling figures with cloth jumpsuits. Then, next to a DC Direct Lex Luthor in a prison outfit. And here, next to a whole bunch of different Mattel, Multiverse, Batman vs. Superman Lex Luthor figures with different heads. Then, next to a couple of Mezco Breaking Bad figures. They're actually in hazmat suits, but they work pretty good for prison jumpsuits as well. And here, next to a couple of Mezco Sons of Anarchy figures. Then, next to a couple of crazy guys in straitjackets from Buffy the Vampire Slayer's episode Hush. And let's not forget these guys back at their cells here. We've got a NECA Hannibal Lecter from Silence of the Lambs, and an older McFarlane Violator Clown. And now to check him out, next to some action figures from different various companies, to see how he fits in both scale and style-wise, in case you want to know which lines you can mix him with. Here he is with some of his McFarlane Toys brothers. In front of you are 5 different action figure lines, all from McFarlane Toys, all 7-inch scale. And here he is, next to some DST or Diamond Select toys. Then, next to some DC Direct and DC Collectibles figures. Then, next to some Mattel wrestling figures. And here he is, next to some Mezco 1/12 cloth soft goods action figures. Then, next to some Mattel DC Universe Classics and Multiverse figures. And here, with some Mafex figures. Then, next to some Hasbro Marvel Legends. And here he is with some SH Figure Arts action figures. And finally, here he is next to some Jazzwares Fortnite figures. So overall, he's a pretty cool figure, but he's not one that's going to get a lot of mileage in my action figure collection. He's cool for this specific story and specific set, but I don't see a lot of times I'm going to want to pull this guy out. Maybe a Scarecrow poisons Batman. He hallucinates about being in Arkham Asylum. It's about all I can really think of. His accessories, the baton is nothing special, but the Joker head, that is something special. It's a very cool accessory. His sculpt is very nice. A lot of texturing, different details, all the straps. His suit looks very homemade. Noticing things on the figure I didn't even notice in the book. His articulation is everything you'd expect from a McFarlane DC Multiverse figure, and it's pretty good. Overall, if I rate this figure, I'd give him a good 7 out of 10. He is a very nice figure for what he is. I just don't see myself pulling him out that much in my Gotham City and Batman scenarios. So this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say about the video, add it to the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate when you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I will talk to you guys real soon.